Hello there. Are you looking for a mystery? Something to solve? Well, welcome to 3 mysteries for you to solve. How does this work, you may be wondering? Well, I'll tell the mystery story, and that should contain enough information for you to solve it. And by it, I mean whatever question I'll propose to you at the end of the story. Or maybe multiple questions. But once we get to that point, if you're feeling a little lost, I'll give a few hints, and then I'll reveal the story's truth. Personally, I think it would be cool if you commented what you think the answers were before you get them for real, because that's always so much fun to do, I think, seeing everyone's theories. But make sure you put a spoiler tag, just in case. Now, this is primarily an audio-based video, which, yes, I know that sounds a little weird, but I only say that to let you know that you don't have to worry about paying attention to any visual cues, and that any story beats should be clear based on writing rather than anything else. That's not to say there won't be some visual indicators to help visualize certain situations, but if you want to just listen to this, that should be perfectly fine. Maybe have a notepad just in case, you know? So, with that being said, let's jump into the first mystery of this evening. Soldering fates. A truck arrives at a warehouse right before midnight. The warehouse is at the bottom of a hill and is well lit with bright white lights, even during the night. 2 men are waiting at the warehouse as the truck pulls in. They're both wearing matching uniforms, but one dons a beard. The truck stops and the driver exits. The driver leaves the truck running. The driver walks up to the 2 men and they start holding hands. The driver, holding one hand of each of the men, walks to the warehouse. The man with the beard uses his free hand to unlock the side door to the warehouse with a key card. The door swings open. With gloomy faces, they walk in, sweat dripping. As they walk in, the man with no beard makes sure that the door closes all of the way before continuing. In front of the group lies a straightforward hallway with a similar exit to the door they entered. However, there is also a branch further into the building to their left, which they turn down, hand in hand. In this second hallway, 5 posters are up, each showcasing a different beast. The first one reads, Porridge. Slithering silently in the shape of a puddle, porridge can quickly get around. Typically, it looks like a thick oil, but is a very thin strand that can move at an above-average pace. If you observe porridge in an uncontrolled environment, do not move, or at least try to move quietly. It is important to avoid confrontation or running away, as porridge can travel incredibly fast in water, on floors, and walls. If it catches you, it will find an entrance into you and begin taking away your life force in the form of slow internal flesh consumption. It follows any vibration it hears, but it can get overwhelmed if it is too loud or the vibrations are too intense. Proper containment procedures require you to restrict it into a space with no possible air holes. To subdue it, take advantage of excess noise, and it will be stunned. The second one reads, Kettle. Kettle is a being that takes the form of steam. While seeming incorporeal, it can arrange itself to create a solid barrier out of itself. This solid form can suffocate you if the proper precautions are not taken. Movement is slow but exponentially increases in speed as more of it creates a solid form. Kettle isn't hostile unless provoked. Provoking Kettle involves stepping into its non-physical form or intruding on its personal space in any other way. It will aggress on you until you have been completely still for some time, between 5 to 10 minutes. Then it will unsolidify and begin its movement once more. It only consumes water and carbon dioxide, but it will do its best to remove you by creating a barrier around you to limit oxygen intake, suffocating you to death. It moves slower in colder temperatures, but seemingly has no sense of direction or purpose other than to escape its cold environment. Proper containment procedures require you to restrict it into a cold, box-like space with no possible air holes. To subdue it, take advantage of cold environments and wear proper attire to attract it into a locked location. The third sign reads, Toast. Toast takes the form of a metal cube. While it does not move, it can split itself into smaller cubes. This splitting can be done in any direction and as many times as Toast needs to, making it able to squeeze into extremely small spaces. It can reconnect with itself as long as it is touching the part of itself that it wishes to reconnect with, which makes its biggest weakness gravity. Toast only becomes a problem if it enters your mouth, as it is coated with a highly reactive poison on its skin. and if contact is made within your mouth, the poison will quickly spread to your brain. To contain toast, any container will work. Be careful though, as if it is upset, it will try to escape. Toast will actively hunt, as there are very few predators towards toast. It has a strong sense of taste. All surfaces of toast can taste, so be careful not to leave traces of yourself if you've gotten toast's attention. The fourth reads juice. Juice takes the form of a dog-like creature, but can unextend its limbs at will, and has a purple jelly-like appearance. Do not underestimate juice though. It is very intense and has an acidic surface. If you collide with it, it can burn through you. It doesn't have great senses, aside from touch. To provoke juice, you only have to pour other liquids on it. Otherwise, it is a kind creature. Maybe a little too touchy, though. It can sense your vibes and will follow you if you are emitting a good vibe, and avoid you otherwise. The acidic surface is strong, but it can be contained. To keep it contained, you'll want to use an HDPE box. If you wish to keep it alive, provide a small air hole at the top of the container. The fifth reads coffee. Coffee is mysterious, with movements so incredibly fast it's barely visible. It will only make movements if there is only one person or less in its sight though. Coffee's form is that of a humanoid-esque creature. It will not attack unless you are loud and sporadic. It has strength in daylight, but during night, it is weak. Unnatural light does not give it strength, but it will still act aggressively. Do not fear if it aggresses on you in a location without natural light. It can't do much. Keeping it locked inside of a dark container is the only proper way to contain it, not allowing it to regain its power from the light. After walking down the hallway, the three men open a door. A large room with 5 lights show. 4 of the lights are green. 1 is red. The door closes behind the men automatically. The men unlink their hands, and the man who drove the truck looks back at them. I don't know what just happened. How did you store them? As they needed to be. Maybe I just forgot to connect one of the containers to the internet. Let's hope it was just that. I swear they were all contained as best as possible though. Even if I did break a sweat while doing it. Well, we'll just take the truck down to the laboratory tomorrow. I hope you didn't screw us. I didn't, you... All of a sudden, a sound akin to dropping coins is heard from down the hallway. Oh no. And then, the noises were right in front of the door. Question. What creature is loose? Porridge, kettle, toast, juice, or coffee? Hint 1. Consider what creature can take the closed doors down. Hint 2. What creature would be approaching the men? Hint 3. The creature is upset. You got the answer? You sure? Well then, the loose creature is Toast. If we look back, Toast is the only creature that could have dealt with the hurdles. Porridge is overwhelmed by loud noises and vibrations. Leaving the truck running would have been overwhelming in itself. Kettle may have been able to escape, but it has no way or reason to approach the men. Juice doesn't approach if the vibes aren't good, and Coffee wouldn't have been able to open the door due to the lack of natural lighting. So that leaves Toast. How did Toast know where they were? Following the dripping sweat left by the nervous men. And it's an active hunter. So as these men realize they're probably totally screwed, they can probably deduce that it was Toast. Seems that story ended well. Now, that was a pretty simple start, so let's get on to the second mystery. Divergence. It's a Friday evening at a high school. Stephen and his best friend, Seraphine, are walking away from the building as the orange sky permeates the surrounding world.
A shame neither of us could find a date for the dance.
Yeah, it is a shame.
I think I'm still probably going to go, or Maybe not. I don't know yet. Yeah, I've got to clean up. I'm such a mess.
What happened?
Oh, I ended up falling into a bunch of weeds. It wasn't because of those assholes, was it? No, not at all. I'm sorry you have to deal with those jerks. Yeah, I just wish they'd forget all about me. I just hate dealing with it. Yeah.
They reach a crosswalk at a 4-way stop.
So are you gonna go to the dance? Oh,
Seraphine checks her phone.
Hey Steven, I've gotta take a phone call real quick. I'll be right back.
Oh, okay. Steven looks at Seraphine as she crosses in a different direction, not the way that either of their homes are. Steven looks as she holds the phone up to her ear. The sun begins to fade. Hey, Steven! Charlie and Chapel call Steven from the road behind him.
Oh, hey guys.
What are you up to? I thought you were helping set up the dance.
I was just gonna run home and get my suit.
Oh, that's right. You only live a few blocks down, correct?
Yeah.
Are you going with anybody?
Well, I'm out here with Seraphine. She just had to take a call.
Seraphine?
She's on the planning committee. I swear you've met before.
Maybe? I don't know. I can't remember all these names, you know? The remaining daylight fades. Well, pleasure seeing you. We'll see you at the dance, right?
Yeah, of course. See ya.
Charlie and Chapel both walk back down to the school. Steven turns around. Nobody is standing on the other side of the road.
Sarah?
Steven crosses the road. Sarah! Steven calls out louder. He walks down the street and still sees nobody.
Maybe she just went home. I should check, just to make sure.
Steven walks down to Seraphine's house and knocks on the door. Seraphine's mother answers.
Hey, Miss James, is Seraphine here?
Oh, Steven, I haven't talked to her all evening, so I don't know. Okay. Are you going to ask her to the prom or whatever it is? Yes, I think she said she was going to help set up the dance last time I talked with her. You'll find her there.
Okay, thank you.
You know, she really needed somebody like you in her life. It's been a rough year, you know. She needed people like you in her life to help her deal with her father's death, so thank you. Of course. I hope you wear something nicer than that, though. Steven is wearing a casual jacket and jeans.
Sorry, I was gonna go change. I just forgot.
All right. Oh, can you snap some pictures for me?
Sure, yeah, I can do that. See ya, Miss James.
Door closes and Steven walks away.
Oh no. Where the hell did Seraphine go? Which phone call did she get? Did she hate me? Did she get kidnapped? Oh, wait, I can retrace my steps.
Steven walks back to the crosswalk.
She crossed and was walking in this direction, directly away from the school to the east. So she couldn't have gone too far, but because there's a dead end here and there are only fields and farms out that way. There isn't much in any other direction either. So maybe she knew somebody in this neighborhood? I should call her. Why didn't I think of that first?
Steven pulls out his phone and calls her. Nobody answers.
What the hell? She was just on her phone. Shouldn't she still know? But am I blocked? But wouldn't I? I don't know. I just don't understand. I should ask other people on the planning committee. She was friends with them.
So, Steven walks into the dance, still in casual wear. Walking into the dance, it's hard to see. Music's blaring, but Steven walks onward. He finds 2 people from the planning committee. People who should know Seraphine.
Hey, Tanya. Hey, Alexis. Have you seen Sarah?
Seraphine? No, I haven't.
Sarah? Who are you talking about?
Alexis, are you stupid?
No, I'm not stupid. I just haven't met your Seraphine friend.
What the hell are you even saying? Yes, you have. She's literally in the committee with the rest of us. You guys, argue all the time.
Okay, what's she look like then?
You know what she looks like. She's got that long black hair and always wears one of those little butterfly clip-ons.
I'm not familiar.
It's the kid with the dead dad deal going on. Come on, I know you remember. You were being an asshole to her about it earlier.
Nothing's coming to mind. Are you trying to slander me or something? Because I don't even think I made fun of somebody's dead parents. That's just low blow.
Well, you're not doing this gaslighting shit, Alexis.
Me and her have been good friends for a while, and I know how you feel about her. Just stop. Well, okay, so if you haven't seen her anywhere, where's the last you saw her? Like, was she talking to someone or something, or came down to help us set up? She low-key was kind of quiet. I asked her what was up, and she said like, what was it again? She was just getting some streamers from the $1 store. Tanya points up and shows the streamers on the ceiling.
Okay, thanks.
Why do you need to know anyway? You two are like glued together all the damn time.
Well, she said she lost an earring, like, and I wanted to help find it.
Okay. Good luck with whatever you're doing.
Thank you.
Steven turns around and leaves the dance. The sky is now completely dark. The $1 store is west and north of the school, on the other side of a farmland that seems to have not been taken care of in years, but is only a 10-minute walk away. Steven heads over to the $1 store where 2 employees are chatting inside. Steven walks in.
Welcome in.
Oh, hey, did you guys sell streamers to anybody today?
Not that I can recall, no.
Are you sure?
Well, I mean, I can check, but I've been here all day and it's been dead, so like, I feel like I'd remember.
Could you?
Sure, yeah, whatever, man.
The employee pulls up the purchase history on a nearby screen.
Well, damn, 3 rolls of black, white, and gold streamers were sold today at 4:45 p.m.
And I met Seraphine at the school around 5:30. It's not a 45-minute walk from here.
I can't believe I didn't remember that. Do you want to, like, refund them or something?
No. The 2 employees look at each other. Maybe she went through the farm. She was a little scuffled up from when I saw her outside last. I don't have anything else to go off of, so I'll check.
The hell is that guy's problem? He's just been standing there. Steven walks out.
Oh, thank you for your help,
No problem, man. Steven crosses the road into the farmland with tall weeds covering the whole area, but a small parting is where he finds himself walking. Mice and bugs crawl over his feet as he runs through.
What the hell am I doing? 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 This is so gross. Ugh.
As he begins to run through, his thoughts begin to catch up.
What happened? Is she dead? Do I need to call the cops? What the hell? How did she just disappear? No.
Steven begins to run faster, plants brushing against his face, scratching him up, and then he falls into the thick plants onto the dirt. In front of him, a warehouse-like building. He walks forward and opens the creaky door into the building. Inside is an overgrown mess of plants and fallen rocks. There lies the remains of what seems to have been conveyor belts and large machinery. A conspicuous kettle is laying on one of the conveyor belts. Steven walks towards it. He holds it. It seems to have been used recently.
Why is all of the dust cleared off of this?
As he holds it, suddenly, a genie appears.
Oh, hello there. You here to claim the 3rd wish?
The 3rd wish? What are you, a genie?
Yes, I thought that was pretty obvious.
What the... Wait, hold on. You said 3rd wish. I haven't wished for anything yet.
Oh, genies don't really work that way. If I had to describe it, it's more like I have to grant 3 wishes before I get to move on to the afterlife.
Why? I thought it was like an eternal punishment sort of thing.
No, it's kind of like I was a ghost with unfinished business, but the business can never be finished now, so I became a genie, which allows me to have a different sort of power.
Granting people's wishes?
Only 3 wishes. Once I've wished 3, I'm free.
3 from anybody?
3 from everybody.
You got 2 wishes from people already?
1 person.
Seraphine?
I didn't get a name.
What did she wish for?
I can't disclose that.
Why?
Rules, I guess? But you've got 1 wish. Oh, and I forgot to mention, your wish can only go into effect at nighttime, or like when the sun goes down or whatever.
Can I wish to know what the person's wishes were?
No! You got 1 chance. Oh, and also no ending, because that's like a way to make an infinite wish, and I don't have that power. If you do that, it'll count as multiple wishes.
What the hell was Seraphine's wish?
Wait, so the same person did make 2 wishes?
That's correct.
What did Seraphine wish for? She disappeared, but to where? Genie, can you give me any information whatsoever on the one who wished?
The genie pauses.
The person had found it before, but they didn't wish for anything. Not until earlier today.
Where did she go?
I can't tell you.
Is she coming back? Is she gonna be okay?
No, I don't know. I guess it depends on who you ask.
Where is she?
I can't tell you that, kid. I'm sorry.
Is there anything else you can tell me?
Well, the person was trouble. A guilt or regret, I presume. And well, I believe those presumptions were reaffirmed after the wish. But another possible guilt plagued them, so they decided on a middle ground. To be honest, I found it to be a selfish decision, especially since you yourself are proof that it did more harm than otherwise.
That's all?
I can mention one more thing. It's my rules. You can't wish to force people to do your bidding, or wish to directly kill or bring somebody back to life. You have to be indirect with your approaches, except for yourself.
So she made 2 wishes. One was to remedy another, but it was selfish? Or so this genie claims? So then...
Question. What did Seraphine wish for? Hint 1. The genie's final statement holds hidden importance. Hint 2. Memories. Who remembers what, and what could a wish have to do with that? Hint 3. The genie said she wasn't coming back. What wish would have led to that happening? And what would a second wish do that may be seen as selfish due to the effects it will have or has had on others? You got the answer? Are you sure? Well then. If we look at the different scenarios, we can gather a few things about this situation. Seraphine was dealing with the death of her father. If she was going to a place where she can't return from, and knowing what the genie said about wishes during death, we can assume that Seraphine may have wished to see her father again, which would entail a sort of forever visit to the afterlife. Now, on the other hand, we've got the second wish. If we look at who remembers Seraphine, it seems to be only good friends and family. Stephen, Tanya, and her mother. It seems she wished for only those who loved her to remember her, her existence erased from all other memories. It was a want to be forgotten by those who tormented her, but remembered by those she loved. But isn't that cruel? Her mother will not know where she went, her friends neither. And so, Stephen stands here with this revelation in his mind, and makes his wish. It's a bright Saturday afternoon. Stephen is having lunch with the delightful Miss James. All is well. There is no sorrow. For all but one. Now then, on to our final mystery for this evening. Well, I guess it's not really a specific time, it's kind of just a void, but hey, let's not worry about semantics and just jump into it. Margin of error. A detective is at a dump with cops in the area. This dump is designed in a very strange way, where the garbage is all stacked into tall cubes and is separated into 4 different sections. It creates a weirdly perfect area of 16 cubes divided into 4 separate sections. In the top left, there is Section A, as well as a control center which is hugged along the corner. On the top right, there is Section B, and what seems to be a transformer, or generator. In the bottom left, there is Section C, and bottom right, Section D. The entrance is in the top middle between Section A and Section B, giving a straight shot to the back of the dump. However, there are 2 things on that path. In the middle, there is a dead body. Very recent, but the name of the person was Red. The person seemed to have been killed by a knife which remains in their body, right into their heart. On Red's person, there was an additional bloodied knife in their pocket. Blood identified as a person named Oranges. There was also a phone, as well as a crumpled up note that said, "I see you." The prints on the knife stabbed into Red seemed to be all jumbled and messy. Not quite wiped, but there was nothing there to ascertain. Behind the body, and more so towards the back, lies a very large hydraulic press. This hydraulic press was recently used, and you can see a destroyed device inside of it. While the detective observes, he walks to the side of the dump where there are 5 other people: orange, yellow, green, blue, and purple. These were the 5 people at the scene of the crime when the police arrived. How did the police know what was going on? Well, they'd received a phone call from Red at 1:45 p.m. They arrived right around 2 p.m., where when they walked into the dump, they saw Red's body fall with the knife stabbed into it. With only one entrance, they quickly gathered the others in the dump, and now, only 10 minutes later, the investigation begins. The detective starts talking to each of the people individually, asking them to give their account of what happened. Orange recounts his story to the detective.
So we were all following Red down the street, basically. And Red had made a friggin' teleportation device. It looked like a gun with a crystal purple pyramid on it, so we knew it worked, because they showed us, of course. But I think the rest of us were all on the same wavelength. We needed the money, and Red's our friend, so they'd understand. But then, Red started running from us, and they passed into the dump, and we all saw them run towards that crusher in the back. But we weren't just gonna let them ruin all the work so they wouldn't have to share. So, we started chasing them. I swear they pressed the buttons on the press, but nothing happened. But now, the rest of us were kind of making a plan to make sure they couldn't run out of the dump. So the group had me guard the entrance. They think I'm big and strong because I went in prison, but truth be told, I'm a sweetheart if you get to know me. Now, all I knew at this point was that I couldn't let him out of the dump. To be honest, I sat there for a minute, just waiting, I suppose. Red was looking around still, but then Green went chasing after him, and I saw Purple follow suit. Purple was very, very upset, I'll tell ya. Blue and Yellow were headed that way as well. Green turned early, and it was real strange. I only thought that he was sneaking on Red or something. Well, I don't know, because I saw Red turn that direction and towards Section D, and then, I don't know. I swear I saw Red again for a second, like a split second. But then, there was a high-pitched yell, and then Red came running across once more. Then Blue came chasing. After a second, I see Red right next to the control center, just standing there. Then a beep happened, and they came running right at me. I was kind of just confused. Then they left. I thought they did. I don't know, because Blue started yelling at me for being a worthless door guard, but then all of a sudden I saw Red right outside the control center again. So I tried telling that to Blue, but then Red was inside of the control center. I don't even know. If it weren't for the windows, I'm pretty sure Blue would have killed me right there with my own present to him. I was kind of just standing, watching. I heard chaos, but I couldn't see super well from as far away as I was. But then the power turned on, and I could tell. The lights, they were turned on, that's how I could tell the power was on, of course. I was still trying to see what was going on at the control center, because I saw Blue and Purple hounding the area. But then, all of a sudden, Blue ran off from Section A to what I assumed was Section C. I don't know. So I look around once more, and I see Green and Red at the crusher. Green was trying to stop him, and then succeeded, I think? I don't know. Red turned off and ran to Section D. I was looking over that way, but I briefly saw Green and Blue talking at the crusher. It was kind of confusing though, because then Blue kind of just went back to Section C. Then, all of a sudden I hear Yellow scream, like a shriek, and then on my left, Red ran over to what looked like the transformer thing. I don't know, clearly they were having trouble with it, but they weren't trying to leave, so I didn't interfere. Then they ran back. I stared for a second, kind of confused, because what the hell was Red's plan, You got yourself here. It's your fault. You could have escaped at any time. But then Blue tapped me on the shoulder and asked me where Red went. I told him the honest truth, and then he just ran down to Section B, right in the middle of it. It started becoming a blur to me. I saw Red, and then Red was at the control center, and then someone pressed the crusher button because I heard a beep, but as I looked, Red was right in the middle of the dump. Everyone started talking, and then Blue told me to, so then I ran, and I got sliced by the gift I made. I yelled sorry to Red, and then, still reeling, I looked, and they'd crushed it. And then I ran out. There, Red fell, a knife in her back, and a knife I made. But that's all. I'm sorry. I don't know anything else.
Orange had a slice running across his stomach. Orange had one knife on his person, completely clean and bearing only his own fingerprints. The detective thinks, teleportation. I wonder how this device worked. All found weapons on every person at the scene were matching. I'll ask Yellow now. Yellow recounts her story to the detective.
We were at my place. I was bringing in drinks to everyone, and And then I saw Red was talking about the teleporter. They were all passionate about it, but then Red said something about destruction. Maybe it had to do with the main piece, the aberrated glass, that is. I mean, it unstable. I think they were wrong about, but then they ran. We all knew where, of course. That's where we got our supplies. We're even the ones who sorted the trash into sections, you know. Money doesn't come by often, so we ran down and Purple told us we had to work together. She's so wonderful, Purple is. I'm a wimp, though. I didn't do much. I ran into, what was it? The area near Section B and Section D, and then Green screamed, and I saw Red. And I saw Red, and then Red ran into Section C. I didn't do anything because I didn't. What happened? And Purple, she got angry at me and Green, and then Purple, she Purple just left, and I got sad. I walked up to the transformer. The lights turned on, but it was strange. The transformer, it was very, very quiet. So I sat there. I think I closed my eyes, and then I saw Red running straight at me. I screamed, but Red just pressed a button, and then there was a beep, but not from the transformer. If I were an inventor like Red, it would make more sense, but it's so selfish of them. We all helped build that teleporter. I stood up, and as Red ran away, others approached. They quickly followed Red, though. So I walked down from Section B to the middle of Section D, and there Red stood. We all surrounded Red, and so I think that they were looking around, and then there was a conversation. Red was saying how dangerous this was, but in Purple, she was saying how it was a weak theory for Red to have, and that throwing this away would be a waste. Of course, Purple was correct about that. It was always going to turn out this way, though. Red was always like this, and I never liked that. They didn't understand what we had to deal with. They thought we were their pawns. Stupid. Purple deserved better, and then Red came at me and shoved me over. There was a beep, and then I thought, what's the point? Is all of this for nothing? Maybe no. I knew what I had to do. I got up. I chased Red, and I was going to kill them, and then they were right in front of me again, and so I stabbed them. I didn't know if they died, but then they fell. It's my fault. I'm sorry. But Purple knew the right decisions.
Yellow had no weapons on her person. Green retells his perspective.
Oh, yes, me, of course. I didn't kill Red. We, met at a university thing. They were very smart, so I worked with them, and I made the teleporter. There was a whole group of us, but Red knew something bad. I think they were wrong, though. I'm telling you, it was a weak study. Sure, I'm a dropout, but I'm not stupid. But then Red ran. I just wanted to talk to them, but everyone else had other plans. We needed to stop Red first before letting him get away. Get away with destroying the teleporter, that is. I decided to play it smart, to cut them off early. I ran into the middle of Section D, but was way too late. Red ran past me, but then all of a sudden Red was right in front of me. I remained very calm, though, so it was fine. It must have been teleportation, I thought. Then Red ran past me, and I missed my moment to speak. I considered running. Truthfully, I was kind of shocked, though. And more so, why did Red approach me? You know, do you think they liked me? Liked me? But before I could contemplate those complex thoughts, Purple started yelling at Yellow and I, calling us useless and asking for our weapons. I didn't comply with that psycho. Purple, she was out of it. So I ran away, and I didn't get murdered. Not out of cowardice, mind you. I just went to go buy the hydraulic press, and then I just kind of sat next to it. I was looking at all of the buttons, but it wasn't on. Well, until the lights turned on. Then there was a little flashing on the screen that said, low power. After a bit, Red ran up to me, and then they moved me, politely of course, and looked at the control panel for the hydraulic press. Red, they had a plan. I was thinking about that, but I didn't know what it was. They mumbled something about the transformer, and I believed Red's worries, though. I don't know if I agreed, but maybe they knew what was right. They were always smarter than me. So I decided right then, I was gonna help them. Red had run off towards Section D, but then Blue asked me where Red went, and I lied to him. I said back into Section C. My heart was beating like crazy, you know. Then I looked around, and there was a scream. Yellow, probably. I saw Orange at the entrance, Purple running past him, Blue showed up to Orange, and then Red ran back and hugged me. They liked, you don't think. They said a few things to me. Asked me to turn on to the press. And all I could say was, I'm sorry, and then there was a beep and they ran. Before I could turn on the press, Purple started running at Red, but I had to block her. I couldn't let Red fail. I needed this to work. So I tried to stop Purple, but she was wielding 2 knives. I should have pulled my knife out. I got sliced, but I got some good hits in. Purple ran past me. Then I pressed the hydraulic press. I saw Red right near the press once more, and then they were standing in the middle. The hydraulic press was lowering very, very slowly, but then everyone started talking. Orange at the entrance, Purple in the middle of Section C and A, Blue near me, in front of the crusher, Yellow in the middle of Section B and D, Red right in the middle of it. Everyone was calling Red selfish and saying how this was their only chance to be free of the shitty lives we'd all been living. They all helped Red, who was in a better place than the rest of us, to be fair. And Red wanted that gone. That machine, it was evil. That's what Red claimed. And I understand the anger they held, but Red, I had to help them. Even if I disagreed. Then everyone started reproaching Red, and they ran towards Yellow. Everyone went chasing them down. I saw Red up in the front, but then they kept going back over to Section A. Blue and Purple, they both followed. Orange was right behind, but was bleeding, and then Red ran towards me and Purple. Red jumped into the press, the sound of glass breaking, a loud beep, and then, right behind all of that, Red fell. And the police were right at the entrance.
Green had cuts on his arms and chest. Green was found with 1 knife on his person. Clean. Blue talks about his point of view.
I tried to stab Red, but I missed. I wasn't the one to kill him. That would have been Green. Why'd I try? Well, it's simple. They were gonna destroy our work. The work we'd spent years on. So when they ran into the dump, after their speech about how this all could rip space-time, that bullshit, no, we couldn't just let it be over. Our lives were hell, you know. Red was such a selfish prick for that. Never once offered help to the rest of us. Classist asshole. But we got to the dump, and while Red ran back to the press, we were making a plan. We just needed to grab the device and run, but we were ready to injure Red, just in case. After a revelation on the science behind the teleportation stuff, Orange made us all some knives, matching, like a gift. They're nothing special, but they had a killer edge. Something I should have known. So we run at Red. We lose him quickly, but then I hear a squeal, so I run back to the main path. There I saw Red run across from Section D to Section C. I ran towards them. Then Red started running towards the control center, so I followed. There was a beep, and then there was another beep 10 seconds later. Basically, Red was able to get away. They ran out of the dump going down the same way they'd have just came from, but outside of the fence. I look at the entrance, and Orange was standing there doing absolutely jack shit. So I gave him a piece of my mind, but then Red was back. I ran over and Purple was there as well. Red had made a call to the police at this point. I can understand the fear, but they were overreacting. Nobody was gonna harm them, not on purpose at least. We just wanted to talk, that was all. Looking through the windows in the control center, I saw Red turn on the power and then fiddled with some other things. I found it strange that Red turned on the cameras, because at the time I believe there wasn't enough power to run the cameras and the press. But after that, they just sat there. Then there were 2 beeps. I remember that clearly. But then Red opened the door. The 3rd beep happened and Purple stabbed them. Well, one of the 3 standing there. And then there was only one again, with no injuries, right in the middle of it all. And then they just ran away as Purple tumbled. It was so strange. I just stood there confused for a moment, but then I stepped out of it and began chasing once more. Maybe Red had a point, but I think it's just a bad idea to kill a thing because it scares you. Eventually I catch up. Green on the floor tells me Red had looped back around. I couldn't find him. Purple was gone from the control center, so I ran back over to Orange, asked him if he saw anything. Well, he points, and again, sure enough, at the press, there was Green and Red hugging. Strange, but maybe it was over. That's what I thought at least, until Red ran, and Purple with 2 knives tried to catch up to them. Green and Purple had gotten into a fight, I assume, but I didn't really know because I just needed to get Red, so I turn into Section A and I see Red just standing at the control center. There was a beep, and then Red disappeared. I ran to the middle, between Section A and C, and that's where Red was, just standing there. I said something like, "Stop trying to destroy our work. This isn't your choice. It should be ours, you know." It was a big deal. Teleportation. And we all made it. Our little group. But I had to step in, and Red started running. And then I took a lunge, and I missed. So I admit, I did try to stab Red, but it was for the greater good. As I fell there, though, there was a beep, and then I sat as Red ran. There were no more chances. I was out of luck to stop this from being ruined forever. So I stood up, and then my knife, I don't know. Red was standing there again for a moment, and then Red disappeared, because then Red fell elsewhere.
Blue had no weapons on his person. Finally, Purple begins to retell the truth. Let me guess, everyone was telling you I was the aggressor. Funny, because I'm pretty sure things happened very differently. To be honest, this all happened because Red was threatening to ruin our lives. I'm sure it had something to do with their preppiness. The only one of us who actually ever bothered to finish school, but it gave them a complex, I'm sure of it. They thought they knew better when we had the technology to improve the world by tenfold. I'm sure everyone has told you that by now, but we all helped in one way or another. Just because Red did all the math stuff doesn't mean they deserved all the credit. Orange knew how to put stuff together, a welder who was fired, an engineer of types. Yellow, the delight she is, helped craft the aberration glass. Green, well, to be honest, Green was just kinda there. Kinda useless if you ask me. And then Blue. Blue was the real guy who made it, not that fraud of Red. I do hold anger, and the fact that they ruined our chance to advance this world is cruel. But we did what we had to do, and I don't blame whoever it was who killed Red. We arrived at the dump, and then we formulated a plan to stop Red from ruining this world's future. And then we began the chase. However, it quickly became clear that Green was useless. He had kept letting Red get away, but I continued chase. Yes, I may have had my weapon out, but the teleporter, it could have brought me to somewhere much worse, you know. I saw Red inside of the control center and began my work to break into the room, just so they couldn't use that teleporter and escape and destroy it. You see, there are 2 windows on the control center, one big one on the long side facing the entrance of the dump, and then there's a window on the door. I kept watch on the door side as Blue did the long. Red was touching the buttons on the machines in that room irresponsibly, turning on the power to the building, and making a mistake. I began to get into the building as I heard beeps from the teleporter. 2. Then Red unlocked the door, and there was a 3rd beep, and I fell in because I was leaning on the door. Then there were 3 Reds, and then they disappeared, and there was just one who stomped all over me. The audacity. I got up and began chase once more.
I had my knife and I cut through all obstacles. But Red still evaded confrontation. I thought I was being reasonable. Then, everybody was surrounding Red. We talked. The conversation was about how Red was wasting humanity's potentials, and more so, us. Red was a blessed child, with a good home life and a good job. But when Red asked us for help, the rest of us needed this to work. From debts to the addictions, we were all struggling. But once Red showed us the complete product and then said, "This shouldn't be in our hands," oh, I had just about had it with that shithead. And so did everybody else. We began chasing them down. They were going to crush the teleporter, and I couldn't let that happen. So I chased, and then Red jumped into the crusher, and I tried to stop them, but then they were gone, and the aberration glass on the teleporter was crushed. I turned around, still in the crusher, and as I saw Red fall, you all arrived. I admit I attempted to attack Red, but it was my last shot, and I missed. And besides, I still have my knife on me.
Purple had one knife on her person. The knife had the blood of green on it. The detective then sits for a moment. A pretty clear answer lies in front of the detective, but something feels strange. What's the truth behind this case? The answers are all here. So, question: how did the teleportation device work? Question 2: who killed Red? Hint 1. 3 beeps, triangle. Hint 2. 1 told a no lies. Hint 3. 2 people, missing weapon. You guys got this one? It was a little tough, huh? Well, let's just see if you got it. The answers to this case all have to do with the teleportation. Remember the beeps? There were 3 of them before the teleportation, if you don't remember. During the 3rd beep, though, it wasn't just a beep. It seems Red had appeared in multiple places at once. When this happens, though, it seems there is a strange effect. Purple tried stabbing Red in the control center, but after the 3 versions of Red recombined, they were perfectly fine. You see, the teleporter works by taking 3 locations and then triangulating the place of teleportation, creating an echo of oneself at each beep at the time of teleportation. If only one of the 3 versions of a person are affected, then it won't carry over to the final teleport. Now, remember the weapons. They're all very, very similar. So, if 2 people stabbed Red at different locations during the teleportation period, then it would average out the position of the knives. If we take what Green says to be true, Purple definitely stabbed Red right in the crusher, but this was after the 3rd beep, so again, it shouldn't have affected them. Unless there was another. In this case, it would explain why Purple only had 1 weapon, when according to others, she had 2. Seemingly, she took Yellow's knife. So, who was this other person? Well, it couldn't have been Yellow, as she had no weapon at the time after the final beep. So, who's the only person without a weapon? Blue. As Blue fell, remember, the 2nd beep occurred, which means as he stood there, Red would have returned for just a moment, allowing Blue to use the weapon. So the people who killed Red are Blue and Purple. But how can we find any definitive evidence? There seems to be nothing directly showing concrete proof. So, question 3. Is there definitive proof Purple and Blue are the perpetrators of this crime? No hints this time. You ready? Well, it was one little detail hopefully you picked up on. Here's the answer. The cameras. Red turned on the cameras. Remember, Red had turned on the cameras with the power according to Blue. this would explain why the press would have been on at low power, as the cameras and the lights would have been taking up the energy, which explains why Red went to the other transformer across the junkyard. So, the detective walks into the control center, door already open. It seems the cameras had been turned on, but somebody had attempted to turn them off. There was an error code on the screen though, saying that you must input a password to turn off the cameras. If that were the case though, would there not have been a password to turn them on? And if that's the case, how did Red turn the cameras on? Of course, the sticky note. I see you. The detective types the code in, and the cameras turn off. The detective then finds the folder where the footage is stored and views it. 3 views are shown. One, which has a straight down view of the entrance, allowing you to see all the way to the back. One has an angle that is right above the control center, showing sections A and C. The other has an angle from the opposite side, showing sections B and D. The video showcases something very interesting. At exactly 1:59 at 58 seconds, on all 3 cameras, you can see Red. On camera 1, purple stabbing Red in the back as green goes to stop the press. On camera 2, blue stabbing Red in the shoulder. And on camera 3, yellow hugging Red. And then, at 2 o'clock, on the dot, Red disappears from the 3 locations and falls into the center, stabbed right in the back, right in the heart. Case closed. And so now the mysteries are solved. I wonder, did you enjoy them? Well, I sure hope so, because I had fun writing them. Hopefully they weren't too difficult though, or too easy. But I'd love to hear your feedback, and if you think I should do more of these. Well, I probably will, because I had fun, and I'd love to get better at it. But seriously, if there are any other things you think I could improve on, let me know. For now though, well, I'm still journeying through the forest trying to find the Vertexi building, so I'll see you all later. Good night now, or good morning or afternoon or evening. Again, it's a void for me here. I don't know what it's like for you, but hopefully it's it. See ya now.